Hello and welcome back to Holt Hanley Weather. Today we are going to be looking at all the severe weather that is going to be going on around the country throughout this entire week. And we got some interesting things in the forecast, so be sure to stay tuned till the end of the video. One thing I will say is that I make these forecast videos every single morning, so if you enjoy following the weather or you end up enjoying this video, you can subscribe to Holt Hanley Weather. Well, let's dive into my screen here. There's, not too much happening in the forecast, and that's kind of nice. It seems like every single day for the last 3 weeks, there's been some severe weather, some giant snowstorm that's hitting the northeast, or massive flooding and tornadoes hitting the southeast, and it's actually refreshing to see a calmer weather forecast. As you can see, there's just this low sitting over basically the middle of the country, and it's really just bringing rain. That's what's going to be associated with this low that you see right here. It's not extremely low. As you can see, it's 1003 millibars. Nothing to get too worried about. What this is going to do, basically bring some nice rain into the Midwest, and then as well as a little bit of rain into eastern Texas, parts of Arkansas could see, decent amount of accumulated rainfall with this one. But for the most part, no real extreme snow and not really even extreme rainfall rates. If it's in those greens there, that's maybe 0.05 to maybe zero point 0.1 inches per hour. If you remember last week, basically the entire southeast was seeing zero point 0.5 inches per hour. And in a matter of days, they had inches of accumulated rainfall. Basically, this entire region down here, their soils are saturated. If they get any more rain, it's just going to lead to more flooding. So it's encouraging and refreshing to see that those rates down there aren't all that great. And you see they even get get less as we move forward in the week. Well, that huge real swath of rainfall has moved into basically the entire Midwest and then eventually into the Northeast, where we're maybe going to see an inch or two of rainfall with that one. Then that low moves through and it disappeared. There's that low right there. That one formed as a cutoff low in Southern California, and that's basically going to move up and it's going to bring some snow to the Midwest on Wednesday. And then that low is going to move into the Northeast and bring some more rain and maybe a little bit of snow on Friday. You can see that low is actually that's decently low, 989 millibars. If this could move a little farther south, then who knows? We could be seeing a nice snowstorm for the Northeast towards the end of the week. But like I said, as of right now, kind of a refreshing forecast. It's nice to start a Monday off just with, not too much extreme severe weather going on because it has been crazy recently. We had that Nashville tornado, we had extreme flooding in Mississippi. And it's good to see that maybe we're going to get a week where we're all just okay. We have enough going on with the whole coronavirus. The best thing the weather could do is give us a little break. And it seems that's what it's doing. Here you see, it's actually a pretty cool frame right here. You see the low sitting up here. Where the colder temperatures are, that's where you're going to be getting snow. So if that low could move a little farther south, maybe this could turn into a big snowstorm for the Northeast. Again, this is Friday. So this storm is going to change a lot. The forecast models really aren't that good. Well, they're good. They're amazing. Don't get me wrong. It's unbelievable we can forecast at all. But this low, I can pretty much guarantee you, is not going to be right there come Friday. That is going to move either south or north. It's going to move somewhere. And if it does move south, we could be seeing some heavy snowfall for the Northeast, as well as probably some heavier rainfall in the Southeast, because as that low, if it were to move south, then it would be able to just really pick up a lot more energy from this warm Gulf Stream right here. So clicking through that, that is going to be a low. That's going to be something to keep our eye on throughout this entire week. That's probably the big storm system that is a possibility this week. This 982 low you see sitting up here. But again, that's hitting Friday. So the exact timing and location of when this low will move through will change. So If you want to stay updated with that one, you can subscribe to Holt Hanley Weather. I do forecast videos every single morning, so I will keep you updated on that low as it moves through. Let's take a good look at the jet stream. And it's really the jet stream that explains why there's not that much weather going on. If you remember last week, this jet stream, oh, my screen kind of freaked out for a second here. There we go. And we're back. Last week, the jet stream had a huge dip in it. Basically, the number one thing I look for when I'm looking at a map of the jet stream is how north to south these bars right here, those are, I don't know if they're, I think those are isobars on this map. Yeah, lines of constant pressure. And if you see those isobars going like from Montana straight down to New Mexico, down the southern tip of Texas, and then right up into the Midwest, very north to south orientation, that means there's probably going to be some exciting weather coming through. When you see it like this, it explains why there's not that much going on. It's very west to east. As you can see, this isobar here basically goes from Northern California up into the Midwest and then to the Northeast. It's what you would call zonal. It is called meridional when they're very north to south, but that's getting a little too sciencey. Basically, what you want to see is if they're west to east, not that much weather. North to south, you're going to have some extreme severe weather, huge snowstorms, lots of flooding. But as you see here, just west to east, which explains why there's really not too much going on this week. And you see it actually gets even more west to east as we move through Tuesday and into Wednesday. That is basically flat from Montana to Minnesota. It is basically flat and it stays that way throughout most of the week. We do start to see this little dip come in on Thursday. That's going to bring some snow to the Midwest, and then something interesting actually happens here. See this little cutoff low down off Southern California? Well, this is bringing in a lot of energy from the warm tropical Pacific. That is going to combine into this jet stream. And then see how it's just reds right here? Well, watch what happens as that low starts to feed some of its energy into this trough. See that little yellow start to pop up. That basically tells you there's going to be more energy in the jet stream. And, there's a better possibility of some exciting weather. In fact, that is going to bring some snow to the Midwest. And then you'll see that is eventually going to hit the Northeast on about Friday, Saturday. But again, that's pretty west to east. In order for there to be a massive snowstorm like we had the possibility of last week, that dip you want to see going from Minnesota down to Florida, then back up to the Northeast. That's when you get the real exciting weather. But like I said, it's refreshing that we don't have that exciting of weather this week. We got enough going on. Let's move into this actual precip type and rate for the Midwest. This is that first system that is moving through actually right now. You can see the rain has already started to move into northern Illinois. There's that low right there, 1,011 millibars, as basically the entire Midwest gets some rain with this one. Southern Wisconsin throughout the day today, probably getting rain all day long, as well as majority of Michigan and Illinois, Indiana, lots of rain associated with this one. And you'll notice not too much snow. We got this one little strip right there. But for the most part, just rain associated with this. And that's because it's pretty warm right now. There is a lot of warm air basically throughout the entire country. Except for a select location in the northwest, country is above average temperatures right now. And that's why this low is bringing rain instead of snow. The other reason is it's not very low. 1,010 millibars is, in fact, pretty high. Like, you could almost label that with a high right there. What happens when that drops down to like 980 is the winds around it get really strong, and that can actually pull down cold air from the colder Arctic. And then that's when the cold air fills into the Midwest and you could see a ton of snow. Well, as you see, that's not happening with this low. This low is not going to have that extreme winds around it, so it's not going to be bringing down as much cold air as we've seen with some of the lows in the past. As you can see though, throughout all of the day today, Midwest getting rain, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, going to be seeing that rain all the way through Tuesday morning. And then there's a little system that moves through on Wednesday. We saw that tiny dip in the jet stream, and Michigan could be getting some snow with that one. We'll take a look at the accumulations with that in a minute. And then let's see that if that low moves in on Thursday right there. Let's see what that does. Brings some more rain to Wisconsin. Real rainy week. And then some isolated higher rates. That's going to be working into the 0.2 inches per hour range. And then that moves into Illinois, Indiana, Ohio. That's about 0.2 inches per hour. So Ohio, you could be getting some good rain towards the end of the week associated with this one. Well, let's take a look at some of the accumulations by Wednesday. It's a pretty good storm. There's no snow really with this one, just a select area. But you see northern parts of Illinois, southern parts of Wisconsin, getting over an inch of rain with this one. So that's something. It's something to look out for. It's pretty much all we got this week. There's not that much going on, so that's why we're talking about rain in the Midwest. That's when you really know that there's not a lot going on in the weather forecast. Is when an inch of rain in the Midwest is the leading big story of my forecast. So let's move through. You see, yeah, it's about an inch right through here, working its way into Michigan as well. Could see about an inch of rain. Thing about this is it's just going to be constant throughout all the day today. You're getting light accumulations. There's really nothing crazy associated with this. By Wednesday, though, eastern Wisconsin could be getting 2 inches of snow. That was that one system that moved through Tuesday, Wednesday, where we saw that little batch of snow right here. Let's see if Michigan gets anything this week. Yeah, central Michigan gets about an inch of snow by Wednesday at 1 p.m. And let's see if they get more with that system that moves through on Friday. Yeah, you see it moves in through central parts of Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio before it moves off into the northeast. Well, let's take a look. This is why it's rain. Look at this is showing 500 millibars, and you want to take a look at this blue line right here. That is the freezing line. That is where it's cold enough to get some snow. And as you can see, the whole Midwest, basically the entire eastern half of the country, is pretty warm right now. You got some cold air in the northeast or the northwest, but there's not all that much precipitation going on, so that's why we're not seeing a huge snowstorm up here right now. We did get some rain in California this weekend. That was exciting. It hadn't rained all of February, so it's interesting to see that we aren't in fact in summer already. That's literally what February felt like. It was about 75 and sunny for the entire week of February, which is kind of a bad thing because the extreme weather we get in California is wildfire. So if it doesn't rain during winter, all that vegetation dries out, and then come summer, we're in trouble. Great that we got some rain. That's going to bring some moisture back into the vegetation. Again, though, whole eastern half of the country too warm to get some snow. That's why this low is associated with rain. Again, though, look how west to east these isobars are. If you want extreme weather, if you're a snow lover, you want to see these isobars going north to south, then back up to north. These west to east. Not that exciting of weather. So you see, wow, they get even flatter throughout Tuesday and Wednesday. And then watch this little cutoff low. It's going to hang out in Southern California, hopefully kick up some surf for us because it hasn't been all that good recently. Above average temperatures for basically the entire country at this point. And then come Thursday, this little cutoff flow is going to get absorbed into the jet stream. And then, we could be seeing a little snowstorm for the Northeast come Friday and throughout the weekend. Something to keep our eye on. If you want to stay updated with that, you can subscribe to Holt Hanley Weather on YouTube. I do these videos every single morning, so if you enjoy following the weather and you're enjoying this video, you can subscribe to my channel. Let's take a look at the Northeast now. As you can see, Monday morning, pretty clear in the way of precipitation. Not a lot going on, maybe a little dash of snow up in northern parts of Maine. Moving forward, we start to see that storm that moved through the Midwest. Well, now it's moving through the Northeast on Tuesday at about the time you're going to be commuting tomorrow. You see that low moving through 1009. Again, not that low of a low. We do get a little bit of snow up in Maine, but for the most part, rain throughout Pennsylvania, rain throughout western New York, and that's going to move through on Tuesday. It's a pretty quick mover. Rain starts Tuesday morning. It's probably gone, gone by Tuesday night. And that low, you see, it never even breaks 1,000. That's why we're not seeing a bunch of snow with this one. What about that system that moves through on Friday? Okay, it's a little bit lower, 996 at this point, as you can see some heavier rainfall rates building into New York by about Friday at 7 a.m. That's actually decent rain right there. We'll take a look at the rain accumulations in a minute. And then Maine. You're going to get some snow on Friday as long as this system stays the same. Actually, that's some decent snow right there. But again, Northeast basically too warm this entire week to really get any exciting weather. We're going to get a little bit of rain, but that is about it. How much snow is Maine going to get by the end of the week? Maybe an inch, maybe 2 inches. You see, northern New Hampshire, you're going to get into that maybe 2 to 2.5, maybe 3 inch range. And then, yeah, northern Maine, you're really getting the snow with this one. That's because it's still cold enough there where precipitation can fall as snow. Again, that's by the end of the week. So that's what you're getting the entire week. You see New York, Pennsylvania, you're getting no snow this week. Hopefully you got enough last week to hold you over. I just want to click through this really fast so you can see how warm the entire country is basically this entire week. What you want to look out for is these yellows and greens. That pretty much indicates warm temperatures. That's into the 50 to 60 range, while the northwest, you're in that below freezing line. If you see the blue, that's below 32 degrees. That's where if you get precipitation, it can fall as snow. As you'll see, Midwest and Northeast pretty much stay in these yellows and greens throughout most of this week. And it's basically true for the rest of the country as well. Just especially here, look, by Wednesday, the entire country is almost in those greens and yellows, indicating 50 to 60 degrees. And then you see, let's dive in on Friday. That was the Northeast really only chance of some snow here. And you see, Maine is the only place where you could be getting those below freezing temperatures. And even that, they're still at 36 degrees, 46 degrees. It'll be surprising if they get any snow associated with this low. That's 980. That's a pretty low. We'll see if that can move south throughout the week. Again, I'm going to be updating you guys on that every single morning. So if you want to stay updated with this, you can subscribe to Holt Hanley Weather. I'm going to be following this because this is really the only big story we got this week. This low. And if that can move south, it could start bringing in this moisture from the northeast, and it could also start bringing down cold air from the colder Arctic. So that's our possibility of a big storm towards the end of the week. Let's just take a quick look at the southeast. Remember, it's been basically flooded there for the last 3 weeks. They've been getting nonstop severe weather, and look at it right now. They finally have just clear skies. I don't know if it's clear skies, but there's no precipitation. That's what I mean there. And that is encouraging to see. On Monday and moving into Tuesday, we will get some rain, but it's not those crazy severe thunderstorms that we've been getting for the last 3 weeks. Hopefully some of the rivers can start to go down back to normal levels. And yeah, through Tuesday, they get some rain, not all that much. Probably not going to have the extreme flooding and tornadoes that we've been seeing down there. So that is great to see. You know, I often get excited when there's extreme weather because, it's exciting. But it's actually encouraging to see that there's not that crazy of weather going on this week. We got coronavirus and we just got enough on our plate right now. Thank God the weather has just given us a week off, basically. So, yeah, that's clicking all the way through Friday. Southeast didn't really have any of those severe rainfall rates that we were seeing last week. Remember, last week, Georgia picked up, I think, 5 inches. And basically, this entire region right here is up to 16 inches to 2 feet above their yearly average. And it's only March right now. And they're already above their yearly average by about 2 feet in some places. So it's good to see that Southeast, if all goes well, it's probably going to be taking a week off. Let's look at some of those accumulations. We did see some rain come through, but it's not much. Maybe an inch in the northern parts of Mississippi by Friday. That's very encouraging to see. If you remember, this map last week had about 5 inches of rain just in Georgia right here. And then the whole rest of the region had at least 3 inches of rain. Good to see that Georgia, you're getting a break with this one. Barely even reaching half an inch. Mississippi, barely going to reach an inch by the end of the week. So that is encouraging to see. Not a whole lot going on there. And just going right back, we'll do a quick summary. What's happening in the Midwest? Well, there's a rainstorm coming through. Rain throughout the day today as Illinois, Indiana, parts of Wisconsin, and Michigan and Ohio are going to be getting some rain throughout basically the entire day today. Then a little snowstorm comes in on Wednesday. Parts of Wisconsin going to be getting these lighter accumulations of snow, maybe an inch to 2 inches, and then that moves into Michigan throughout Wednesday at about 7 a.m. And that's pretty much it for the Midwest, except for this low that moves in on Friday, bringing some heavier rainfall rates to Illinois and Indiana, and then that's gone and moves into the Northeast by the end of the week. Well, let's take a look at the Northeast. Right now, not much going on. And then we're going to start to see that rain move in from the Midwest on Tuesday by about the time you're commuting. But again, it's not that cold, so we're not going to be getting snow with this one, except for the very northern parts of Maine. And we're really only going to get freezing rain up into Maine. So that's encouraging because this is hitting right during your commute tomorrow morning. It's good to see that that is not up. My screen is freaking out. I think we're right here. There we go. It's good to see that it's not going to be freezing rain for most of the Northeast. Yeah, I'm liking this week. It might not be the most exciting videos, but we need a break from all this crazy extreme weather. Let's take a look at that low that moves in on Friday. This is the one we're going to want to keep our eye on because it does get down to 980 millibars, which is very low. So we'll see if that moves south. That's really our one possibility of an extreme snowstorm towards the end of this week, Friday, Saturday. If that low moves farther south, then we could be seeing a big snowstorm in the Northeast. But as it's looking right now, temperatures are way too warm, and that's why basically New York, you're covered in rain throughout Friday, and then we get some snow working its way into northern Maine on Friday, but it's nothing crazy. So let's take one look at the accumulated precip for the Northeast by the end of the week. See northwestern parts of Pennsylvania, just a half inch of rain. Nothing that crazy, and that's by the end of the week. Parts of New York, you could be getting an inch of rain, and then the rest of the Northeast, you're below half an inch. So like I said, not a lot going on in the weather forecast, but it's encouraging to see. And I will keep you guys updated on that one low that's going to be moving in on Friday. We're going to have to keep our eye on that because it's pretty low. 980 millibars, that has some potential there. So if that thing moves a little farther south, we could be seeing a big snowstorm towards the end of the week. If you want to stay updated with that, I make these forecast videos every single morning. So if you enjoy following the weather or you enjoyed this video, you can subscribe to Holt Hanley Weather, as well as check out my forecast playlist. By the time you're watching this, hey, there's a chance I've already made another forecast. If you've been watching, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.